Welcome to another edition of Live from the Loft. We got our good buddy Robert Dorian with us for Hiplobotomist, and of course Troy. You all know Troy. You all love Troy. He's back. This is his band. We're gonna start the night off with a couple tasty licks with Robert. Here we are, the fresh licks. Welcome. That was some fresh licks with Robert. He's our special guest along with Troy for Hiplobotomist.
Hello.
We're going to start the night off with...
Thanks for having me, man. It's so good.
Oh, yeah. Thanks for coming, man. And Robert's just kind of passes through, even though he lives in Fort Wayne. He's always on the road, so we're pretty happy to have him tonight.
That about sums it up, right?
Yeah, you're taking off again here in a couple weeks, so.
Got some rehearsals coming up and a couple shows.
Yeah, off to LA, coming back.
We'll get to jam again. It's going to be great.
So we're going to try and get Robert on the back of his tour this year when he comes back through and do another interview with him. So, yeah. So we're going to start the night off with some tips from Jamie.
Yeah.
So we love Jamie Simon. So some tasty tips, today's tips.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll be back around with, we'll be talking to Robert. So see you in a second.
And Troy.
More to come.
And Troy. Yes.
Hi, I'm Jamie Simon. This is today's drum tip.
Where the right place to hit the drum is where you feel like it sounds good. I don't look at the drum that much anymore when I'm playing it. I listen to it. And the wear pattern on the drum will tell you how accurate you actually are. As you're playing, just be careful with that. But the more consistent it is, it's the sound that you like. You're going to get a deeper sound the farther into the center of the drum you are, and it's going to keep getting higher pitched as you come back towards the edge of it. So as you do that, you find the spot that you like. Personally, I like to go a little bit south of center, so that way I can go lower or higher with the actual pitch of what I'm trying to play. The thing is with acoustic drums, which at Sweetwater I have to teach on electric kits, one of the things that ends up being an issue is your accuracy, because if you listen to any professionally recorded stuff, it's amazing how consistent all of the sounds are. So when you hit, your strokes need to be that consistent. It doesn't take much for you to play and then all of a sudden you're all over the map. Like for example, watch on the snare here the difference of the sounds from the slight movement. Now, this drum's not all that well in tune, so it's a little bit off in sound, but you still can hear a completely different sound for each spot that it goes. The problem is when you're hearing somebody play a beat and they're all over the drum, it doesn't sound good, i.e. like this. Ideally, if we can put that in the same spot, that's how it's going to actually end up sounding consistent. And the only way to really, really do that is just sit there and keep doing it until it hits the same spot every time.
Welcome to the control room. I'd like to thank Dave for all the awesome work he does and running around and making sure all the cameras work, and Troy for all the sound. We got Robert, so we're going to do an interview with Robert. I'm going to throw it to Troy right here to tell us a little bit about Hiplobotomist and their first album. So,
in short, Hiplobotomist is Robert and myself. It's the collaboration of that. I play guitar and sing, and Robert pretty much does everything else. And we go into a little bit more detail about our songwriting process and what it's like working in Robert's studio. And what you're going to hear is one of the first songs that I think we really knew we had a band on our hands when we came up with Fresh Sunrise, because it's more of a song than any of the other songs. It actually has chords and a chorus and a lot of stuff that a lot of other Hiplobotomist songs don't have. And we have our first ever video that we're going to show you right now.
and you got the pleasure of going to Hilton Head to shoot that
Yes.
video. Which
Yeah, I did.
was pretty nice. And
Did you do a hell of a job?
Oh, it's a great
Yeah.
job. Did you guys shoot that on the hills of Savannah? Were you guys up there shooting for Savannah too?
Might have been a different
Was
trip.
that
We
different
did,
trip?
yeah, because
No.
this one was in the winter.
Yeah.
It was a great video. That's
Yeah,
coming up.
amazing.
So we're gonna get into the interview with Robert, and then we'll see you in a second. So
Right on.
this week we have a special guest, Robert Dorian. Everyone, to my right, he's a great friend, and you guys have an album, and both of you guys together. So the band is Hiplobotomist, and they have their debut album that has just been released. It's fantastic. If you haven't heard it, get to our website, thephoenixrecords.com, and scroll down. You'll see it. Click on it. I think you can get a sample on it, and then you can pick it up anywhere you can pick up music. Why don't you guys walk me through that album a little bit? I know that Troy did the singing and the lyrics on it, and I know you wrote a lot of the music for it, and it's heavy synth, and it's great.
It's heavy synth. Have a lot of heavy synths. And yeah, how it started was we would get together and make music in the synth studio, the Knob Shop, over at my place. And we started experimenting with vocal processing. Actually, how did we first met through making movies and short films.
Yeah, I was going to ask about that too, so we might as well cover that because I think it'd be interesting to kind of find the web between and the interconnectivity that music and not just music, because we didn't meet because of music, we met because of video, actual work. And Hannah, your daughter, who is an amazing special effects artist and makeup artist,
Yeah,
and artist in general.
so good.
She works in a lot of different mediums, faces, skateboards. She beautifies stuff. She was working with Open Sign Productions, and Ryan Webeking, who is in Wizard Inc. with me and I've been in bands with for over 20 years now. That he was working with that production company, and that's how we met. And we met over at Ryan's, I believe, at like a rap party or something.
That's right, because Hannah was part of a makeup during a shoot, and I wanted to be more involved with local movie makers. At home, Hannah is my horror movie buddy. We love watching the horror movies. We love watching short movies that scare you. And here's Open Sign in town, and you know, she's so good at what she does. I think I knew Ryan from Sweetwater way back, and to learn that he was involved, and some other players were saying, oh, hey, Robert makes some music. Maybe we can get him to do some scoring on a Phobia with their short.
Yeah, I didn't realize that I knew that Ryan worked at Sweetwater long ago, but I didn't know that you knew him back that long ago.
Craig Guy, there's so many people. Chris Kellum.
Chris, we love
Sweetwater
Chris.
brought some great musicians to town. And it brought everybody together.
Yeah, and
anyhow, well, the reason that we started recording music was you said, I have this project. And we're looking for this 80s vibe.
Yes.
Maybe
yeah.
something like, you know, Berlin, Take My Breath Away from Top Gun type of, 80s mood, synth. And we came up with something. What was that first one? We started writing and started clicking. We started adding vocals to this thing, and then the Hiplobotomist sound kind of came about, and it didn't want to leave. It was going to stick.
When the pandemic happened, we had so much material, it kind of seemed like we really should do something with it.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's amazing how much, if you give yourself a direct objective, like for me, I will find a tape or a CD or something that's 10 years old or 12 years old, and I have the experience of completely forgetting that it ever existed. And then when I listen to it, I know every word.
Oh, yeah.
And finishing is the difference between me being the only person that ever hears that or the chance that the world might hear it.
Yeah, that's good.
And for me, it's a clearer line than what it used to be for the stuff that exists in my head and if it exists in the world. And through the stuff that we're doing, through the stuff that has happened since I've met both of you guys, that it seemed like a lot more practical, achievable thing to happen. And, to have those goals makes it closing those chapters and writing the next chapters a lot more attainable.
It does help to have that support system. It certainly does. And to also frame it differently, it's all part of our rock and roll fantasy. What was it that got us into wanting to be in music, be on the stage playing rock and roll or whatever music you want? What was it that,
Yeah, that's a great question. What's the draw?
And then how does it change over time to actually work in that you're not doing it for fame, fortune, celebrity?
Now you're doing it for your soul.
You're doing it for, to share a voice, to offer something different. At the end of the day, if you're trying to be just like everybody else, you're going to, be part of a sea of everybody else's when, as lonely as it is, stick to your guns, maybe. It's really hard to strip down to find that person again after you've been bombarded with all this information on how to be successful, what you should be doing, who you should be looking like or sounding like, you know. And then to strip it all away and say, well, you know, I'm going to do something that I like doing, and more often than not, it turns out to be very unique and special. And I think Hiplobotomist is kind of in that thing where we kind of just explored, you know, being kids in a room full of toys in a way. Well, what will this do, and how can we change that and use it? And that was kind of cool. Maybe that should be the baseline.
You know, I think as I listened to this, and the first time I heard it, I definitely can tell you guys left your inhibitions at the door. You dove completely into the deep end, you know, and we're completely comfortable with it.
Yeah.
So Hiplobotomist, yeah. Out with the bad and in with something better. You know, it's a surgical procedure that you perform on yourself.
I think that's a good thing to talk about, is because we've talked about inspiration a lot and like, where does it come from? And you know, authors will often say that they don't have any ideas. No one knows where their ideas come from. And to me, this band is the biggest embodiment of that I've ever had in my life. You just reach out and grab the wire.
That's right. It's there for both of us. You know, let's do what we do and just hit record and see what happens.
Yeah. There's always usually some type of barrier that keeps you from instant creativity. And just through meeting Robert, like there's this environment, you know, you look around and everything is a dedicated sound machine, and through the filter of Robert's experience and fine tuning that, he creates these soundscapes, and it's like being in at an amusement park, and like you just get to go on a ride, and each ride it's a little bit different.
The drum machine was programmed with a pattern, and that pattern included the kicks, the triggers for the Roland SH7, which was pounding out some bass and synth effects in time. That's how I kind of link the old with the new. I use some devices here that take some signal and can USB to DIN sync to my drum machine. I can actually make it swing a little bit now where it couldn't before. And then that will be using that same rhythmic quality, triggering other old synth like the Roland SH. I have this Yamaha CS60, and that has an external in that I can use in combination with some other control voltage tricks to get it to pulse in time. So I can just lay down a comping pattern, and it's all in time with the old and the new. It's kind of cool. That's like, don't tell me.
All right, well, this is one of my favorite parts right before we start the vocals up and wondering what's going to happen. A lot of Hiplobotomist, take this off real quick, happens in the moment, and especially vocals. And Robert will be playing on top of what I'm singing, and he doesn't know what I'm doing. I don't really know what he's doing. So we're kind of feeling it out together. And then a lot of times when we find something that works, we just kind of both sense that and vibe on that. And you know, we'll often like cut stuff and then re-record over top of it. But I'd say 90%, maybe 85% of Hiplobotomist songs vocally all just happen in the moment. And then we kind of find out what I was saying and we kind of piece it together, and it's a little bit of musical archaeology, because you get to and kind of find reasoning in something that had no reason when it was there. Like none of this is preconceived from my end. Like occasionally Robert will write a couple lyrics with something that vibes, and that works too. And so we don't have any kind of like rules about how we go about doing it. Just whatever's works, whatever's cool. But it, like I said, the musical archaeology of, oh, what was that, and what were you doing there, and how could we layer it? And a lot of times I'll end up singing to the chord structure that Robert's playing.
Hiplobotomist here with Phoenix Records, one of our best acts out there. You guys can't miss them, man. Hop on it. Anonymous by Hip is great. You guys, you can pick it up anywhere you can pick up music. Fresh Sunrise is coming up next, man. That was a pleasure. I think we got Robert on screen now, so
Yeah.
he's back here with us. What a great interview! What a great studio.
That's a lot of fun down there.
That's a lot of fun. I think one of the first memories I have of when I first met you was going down that studio
Yeah.
and just being blown away. Yeah, that's how you had to hunt for some of that stuff.
Yes, and you know, you put that energy out there, some of that stuff falls in your lap.
Yeah, yeah, that's pretty neat down there.
Well, I can't wait to watch this video. I haven't seen it
Yeah,
completely finished.
it's a great interview.
Yeah, so
man.
we'll all watch it together and we'll chat about it a little bit afterwards.
So you guys were done. What's coming up next? Just
Oh, it's
for him.
Well,
I mean,
why don't you guys?
do you have another album in the works, or you guys?
We-
You got some tracks out there
I see
that
what
we
you're
don't
doing.
know
Yeah,
about it.
we've got it. We've got a big back catalog. You might have to lean forward a little bit, Robert, to
Right.
get caught in the mic. But
We have to put in our
it's
archaeology.
yeah, it's a lot of that musical archaeology that we talked about during the interview, and seeing what else to extract, because we have a big back catalog. We were also have some new stuff. We've got a song we're referring to as the Fax Jack,
Nice.
which you guys have, I think, have heard a little bit.
Yeah.
It's kind of there's a little bit more orchestration in it.
I'd like to take Hiplobotomist in a way that's more digestible, but then again, you know, I'm just gonna let it happen.
I
right?
think
Yeah.
you just let it go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Hey, if you like it, you like it.
yeah, exactly, and I love it. And,
Yeah, if
and
it's
I,
broke, why try to fix it?
If it bends, that's funny.
That's right.
Breaks, that's not funny.
and I love the name, and I think your next album should be called Musical Archaeology.
That's good.
That's
yeah.
that's a
I like
great
that.
Yeah.
thing. So what's coming up next? Fresh Sunshine,
I dig
Fresh
it.
Sunrise.
Fresh Sunrise.
Fresh Sunrise.
Dave was saying sunshine earlier too, right? Yeah, we ain't got that.
It's fresh, whatever it is.
Yeah, but
Whatever it is, it's fresh.
it's fresh, that's for sure. Yeah, let's jump into that, man.
Yeah, check it out. Fresh
Yep,
Sunrise.
sounds good.
Can you remember where you were the first time you looked toward the sunrise? Lonely, but no one stays. shed our ways, and I'll enter and I'll never stay with you again. Because you sought me out, you showed me what you're about. No doubt in my mind, I'm gonna run towards the sunrise. I depend on you, depend on me. At rest, take the train. Don't tell me going, so we can follow you. Don't leave a trail, not a breadcrumb, not a receipt, not a call. Leave your cell phone at the train station. Never take it with you again. They're gonna track everywhere you go. They have satellites, they can see you anywhere on earth, in your hearts, on both sides of the moon.
Man, that's a great video. Man, I can't say enough about that. Everything about it. The song is wonderful. The lyrics are great. The cinematography on it is spectacular, and I want to dive into that for a second. So, Dave, tell me how you made that, because it's not your normal just point, click, and shoot.
Yeah, it was a different video. It was Troy and I were in Hilton Head, and we had the idea to. Well, actually, originally we had the idea to sing the song slow and then speed everything up. And so we went and filmed that, and it didn't work at all. So then the next day we went back out, and we were so the way we did that was we recorded the song, or Troy changed the song to be basically 2.5 times faster.
Yeah.
So he had to sing it and play it super fast, and then we slowed it down. So that's why, everything's in slow motion, but it looks like he's singing the words in time.
Yeah.
And I mean the scenery did most of the cinematography work.
Yeah,
I did a little,
did.
but the scenery was so.
Troy must have ice in his veins.
Yeah, so it was. Yeah, so just so anybody watching that knows, it was winter.
Yeah.
It was
you get
30
wet?
degrees
Did
outside.
you get wet?
Oh yeah. If you look closely, you can see my pants are wet. The guitar's wet. The ocean's very wet.
It wasn't CGI.
It was not CGI.
Okay.
It was. I was as cold as I look. If you look at the end, you can see me kind of squeezing my fist just to try to get some feeling back. Cause it was, like Dave said, I was playing it at 3 times speed or 2.5, whatever. But playing and singing, and also, can you remember when? And trying to do that as close as I could. And I had one of my AirPods in my ear, and funny enough, I dropped my phone into the ocean right before, we had a very limited amount of time before the sunrise came up. And
Sunrise, you can't waste that fresh sunrise.
and the timing was very, very important for the shoot and stuff. So when I dropped my phone in the water, and I thought it was over. Luckily enough, Dave had his phone, and he also had the song on it, so we were able to proceed with it.
Yeah.
But
And also, just so you know, I think we can start a GoFundMe for Troy's phone. If anybody wants to send, that's probably the
like the
50th
videos.
phone that Troy has
Yeah,
either
I was
lost,
gonna say
destroyed.
I heard the story before
Yeah.
about a phone in the ocean with Troy.
He dropped that phone in the ocean. The phone before that, he ran over with his lawnmower. I think.
Yep.
That also, public service announcement: Apple Care does not cover running over a phone with a lawnmower.
they don't. Yeah.
Send them a baggie full of phone pieces.
They don't like that.
Yeah. They have a
It's a great
special.
company, but
Man, they should cover that.
They should.
I think they should cover that.
Everybody mows their yard.
you need the eye
Man,
mower.
what a great video.
to have it covered.
Dave, I can't say enough about your work on that. So
Bravo,
so
Dave.
that was
Yeah, I
fantastic.
appreciate it.
This stuff looks
Fantastic.
great.
Ne-
Everything looks great.
Yeah.
This
We're
podcast looks great.
You look great.
you look marvelous.
You look
You know-
marvelous.
marvelous. It's not very often we get to hang out with Robert, so when we do, it's a treat.
I'm always
So,
trying.
That was a fun
I'm
jam
always
we
calling.
had. Yeah.
I
And
love
we'll-
hanging out here, man.
We've got more of the interview with Robert too ready to come. We'll have all the full-length interviews
Yeah.
available ready soon here.
Yeah, if you guys are wanting to see, and it was a great interview. I think it lasted like an hour,
and we actually really dove into who is Robert, and we did. We talked about his first real gig at an arena.
That's right.
You
Right
know,
here in Fort Wayne.
we talked about Trent Reznor calling him up, saying, "Hey, you got time to come do this?" So I mean, if you want, that's a cool interview.
Yeah.
So tonight was about Hiplobotomist.
Yeah,
But,
that's where I really
we'll
want
have
to
the
focus the
full-
energy, right? You know,
Yeah.
Hippopotamus. I have to say, meeting Troy, meeting you, meeting Dave. This is all coming together in a big way, right?
Yeah, it's
I mean,
fun.
I like the sound. I just want to do more of it and refine it, make it something that's household name. Get
Here,
the
here.
T-shirts. We'll have T-shirts.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're gonna make some T-shirts. Oh, speaking of T-shirts and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
we had some giveaways in the first couple episodes.
Yep.
We
Hey, Chris,
we announced
That's where I'm
Chris.
shipping it soon.
Yes, and Joel Young
It's
is
in the mail.
Joel Young was our episode 2 winner,
Mm-hmm.
the Prince question, the Dave Pagan URB episode. So Joel, that stuff is on the way. It's not right off camera behind you, I promise. It's in the mail.
Which, by the way, I heard that URB blew the roof off that place.
I heard the same.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
saw
Yeah.
pictures of Dave. I couldn't make it that night, darn it. But I saw pictures and saw some video in true to fashion, the mighty URB.
The mighty
It
URB.
is the mighty. That is for
Yes.
sure.
Yes.
They blew it away. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think that's probably about
Yeah,
it for
so-
the night. We got a URB.
Look
Yeah.
for episodes, full length episodes soon. We everybody we have we get into it. We get into it. We talk to everybody. They last a long time, and we're really narrowing down. For this. Next week we have Kelly Tulliff. So Kelly is an awesome musician around town.
Bass extraordinaire.
I used to watch him at Columbia Street in the '90s playing with Joshua Wig to just sold out shows over there. I mean, he's phenomenal. But Kelly's doing a lot of artwork. Kelly does a lot of. He's a magnificent at woodwork. He can read the wood grain.
He makes bases.
He's making bases out of it, out of exotic wood that he's sourcing from all over the world, I believe.
He's got a show coming up.
Got a show coming up at Gallery K, I believe it is. Not
Gallery
familiar.
K?
Yeah, I believe that's it. But
Well,
you'll
listen,
see.
Kelly is awesome. Everything
Kelly
he
is awesome,
touches
yeah.
is artful. It's well thought of. The way he plays, the way
He's
Kelly's-
he's no joke.
Kelly's-
Kelly is serious with what he does in his shows. So we look forward to talking to him next week. And I think where are we taking him out with today?
We're going to take him off with URB. Miss My
right.
Baby. Is that what it is, Dave?
Yeah, I think
It's a-
Keep
it's
on
a-
Missing My Baby.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is a Dave P song.
Yeah.
He wrote it. URB performing it. And
Find more at thephoenixrecords.com. All of our music and stuff will be linked there. If it's not, you can find Hiplobotomist on any random streaming service that you choose.
Hey, thanks for having me, guys.
Hey, thanks for
Yeah.
having me. Yeah, thanks for being here.
it's our
Robert.
pleasure. Our pleasure.
Mine.
So we're gonna take you out with Dave P and make sure to check out our website. And if anybody's out there and wants to talk about getting on a label, you can look at our website. Shoot us. Send us a note.
All right.
Yep. Thank you.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Thanks.
All right, we're going to play a love song. Because, love is the ish that makes the world bloom. You never know when you're going to step in it. Been stepping in it all night. Yo, this is a true love song. I ain't talking about no high school puppy love. Yeah, check it like this. I said I keep on missing my baby. What am I gonna do? I keep on missing my baby. She got me singing the blues. Keep on missing my baby. What am I gonna do? I keep on missing my baby. Yeah, she got me singing the blues. I said I got me a baby. I love to look in the eye. One touch of my baby's hand, I say it's enough to make me cry. I'm smiling on the wild end. Stop with the heartbeat. It's the heat between you and I. It's a shame that we just can't be. So I keep on missing my baby. What am I gonna do? I keep on missing my baby. She's got me singing the blues. I keep on missing my baby. What am I gonna do? I keep on missing my baby. Yeah, she's got me singing. Oh, hey. I keep on missing with you. Missing for you. Hey, it's a twinkling in the eye, in the wiggle, in the walk. It's all I can do is to just listen when she's talking, and the sound of her voice get lost in my head. So I'm singing, it was all making you wanna come along the side. Long gone, we sitting there, baby. I keep on missing my baby. What am I gonna do? I keep on missing my baby. She got me singing the blues. Keep on missing my baby. What am I gonna do? I keep on missing my baby. Yeah, she got me singing. Oh, come on, baby. Singing for you. Sing it. Singing for you. Sing it like this, yo. Oh. I see the first time I seen you got me all shook up. I wasn't thinking about a fine girl I wanna hook up. Well, I looked up and took my very way. So this every day I see this memory, it's gonna stay up in the front of my mind. It wasn't so behind, all this in the back. I thought that you were looking so fine. I wanted you to be mine from that moment on. So I commenced a babbling conversation. The gravity of this beauty was like a felony, first degree fantasy. These can't happen to me, Dave. He caught up in the sexuality. Just did it to the green eyes of a beautiful lady. Keep on missing my baby. What am I gonna do? I keep on missing my baby. She got me singing, oh, got me singing for you. Keep on missing my baby. What am I gonna do? She keep on missing my baby. Yeah, she got me singing, oh. Keep on missing my baby. Oh, what am I gonna do? Keep on missing my baby. Keep on missing my baby.